All right, the First Descendant game is coming out as of 1 week of this recording of this video. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is there's a couple things I noticed. One of the elephants in the room is the monetization, which we have yet to hear any news about that. But the second elephant in the room that I saw on Reddit, Twitter, and also Discord was people concerned with day one servers. I'm Reckless from Reckless Player Gaming. Let's get started. All right, with the game coming out in 1 week of this video, like I said, my concern was seeing how many people worried about this specific thing. Now they're concerned about day one and week one. Now, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking even in 2024, this issue has plagued every single game on day one, week one. You look at games like Helldivers 2. When it first came out earlier this year, it had issues for a couple weeks to the point where devs were even saying, I would understand and I would not recommend you buying our product yet until we fix our servers. Now, a game like that, they weren't prepared for it, so they say, and it has been talked about where they showed graphs where they weren't ready for all of this, but they made adjustments and they even talked about certain things. It got to the point where the queues were so long and heavy that they even had players, even if you got in and you were able to play, players were even not even turning off their PC or console because they wanted to be able to get back in, not having to worry about any of the queue. So that had an issue of themselves, and they were able to make adjustments on the fly pretty quickly when it comes to patches to be able to see, okay, we're being overstressed already. Now we have this other issue that people are keeping themselves on versus turning themselves off and allowing other people to get on. So they made ways to make adjustments where if you had inactivity after a certain period of time, you'd be kicked out of the game. Now that allowed people to come in, it eases servers a little bit, and yes, they did need to upgrade themselves to be able to adjust. I like to think of it like as a gym. Like gym have memberships, and all these people who have the memberships, they come at their normal times that they do, and they can handle that perfectly fine. Even on rush hour time frame, it might have to wait a little bit, but then you're good to go. But if everyone who has a gym membership tried to get into the gym the exact same time frame, they just can't sustain themselves, and that's just going to happen. I know those are some like bad analogies, but I tried to think about, you as a game developer and as a game, like you try to make sure on a normal day is going to be fine to handle everything, but on day one or week one, it might be a challenge to have every single person log on, because not every single person is always going to log on every single day of the week. The majority of the people, there's going to be people from different regions that they're going to play when they want to play in their normal time of playing, but not everyone in the world is going to be trying to log in at the exact same time on the exact same hour that it releases. It just happens to be the day one, and that's when people come out and play. Now, what matters is how they adjust themselves to it. If you think about other genre of games, you have a gacha game like Wuthering Waves that just recently came out on PC and mobile only, and that game had over 30 million pre-registered users to play the game, and even then, just being a solo co-op game had issues of logging in and even functionality issues where you even getting kicked out or not being able to play at all. The way the latency is, there are going to be issues with every single game, and that's just two of the most recent games that I can think of off the top of my head. You have even DLCs being an issue. You have Destiny 2 with the first release, with their last release of the biggest DLC for them, the Final Shape, which had gotten many good reviews, but the very first day was unplayable. You had to wait 3 or 4 hours to be able to get in from when the game actually was released with the server, with the patch, and when maintenance was done. But you also had issues where you were getting kicked out and had to wait in long queues. So even for myself, who was ready to play that DLC, had to wait. And it took me even my 14 hours to not even be able to finish the story because I had most of the time having these issues with that. So even DLCs have issues. Now, if you're coming from the Destiny 2 community, that is already plagued. Everyone knows that whenever a big DLC or anything like that pops up, there's going to be issues, and the community knows that issue. And I just wanted to make sure that we know that as well as we start to have a game that is similar to that. There are going to be issues with day one specifically. We just hope that it doesn't keep going past the first week. Even the beloved Elden Ring had issues as well with their most recent DLC. They also had issues where they had people not have functionalities happen in the game. Some people had issues with quests. Some people had issues with not being able to log in. And that was just the DLC most recently. Even when the game came out 2 years ago, people also had similar issues. So I just want to make sure that people set their expectations and really think about, you know what, maybe I won't take off. There are people who do take off just for a first day release to be able to play it. Maybe I won't take off because you know what? There's going to be day one issues. And I would recommend, if you can, give it a few days before you actually really do play it. I would always love, of all of us in a perfect world, to play the game on day one with no issues. But we have to just be realistic. Even games in 2024 are going to have these issues. Even if you don't have these issues, other people might have these issues. And just keep in mind the fact that they're allowing PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well. That also plays a factor into it all. And that's a whole different can of worms. But to be able to identify certain people not being able to log in might be tough. Some PlayStation players might say, hey, I'm having issues. Kind of find out it's a PlayStation 4 issue, not a 5 issue. Or the other way around with Xbox. So there are going to be issues that arises. The way the devs communicate, the way the devs handles these issues, and how quick and swiftly they're able to take care of it are what is my concern. I want to make sure I want to be able to see how quick they are about making these decisions and how fast they can get people up and running to be able to play the game. Unfortunately, there are going to be casualties in this, unfortunately. And some people think that every game should come out perfect. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And there's people who don't want to play a game and their first day release is horrible and they just never pick it back up. It's going to happen. It's going to happen for sure. It's not a perfect game. No game has been perfect to really have a good day one release. So just keep that in mind. I just want to make sure everyone has their expectations. The one thing we really need to keep in mind is just to focus on how quick are they to make changes and updates and patches as quick as they can. If they can do that and start to communicate these issues, that is a good sight that we are seeing good things come from these developers. From seeing what they are doing with the test servers and how they're communicating and adjusting certain things to be more what the community wants, and they see the issues is a good thing, which gives me some hope that they're doing everything in the right direction. But we just need to make sure we set our expectations. You know what? We might not be able to log in the very first day and the very first hour. You might want to walk away, have something to eat, do some things, and maybe come back in an hour or two. Give it a chance then. So I would just say we should be more concerned with specifically on how they're able to adjust themselves, and just make sure we set our expectations of, okay, let's see if they can actually prove to their word. Yes, there are going to be issues no matter what. There will be issues. Not saying there won't be. There will be issues. But how they adjust themselves and how they're able to correct that issue, how swiftly they're able to take care of it, is what we really should be concerned about with. But just keep in mind, you can't really judge a game based off of the first day or first week. You have to give it some time to let it do what it needs to do, and hopefully, after a couple hours, hopefully it does work. But we can't expect day one to be perfect. But hopefully by the week, we should have the game up and functional and able to play. I will say the one thing I was thinking about was when the game actually releases, it actually releases on a weekday. So there's more or less likely chance of people actually playing because it's in the middle of the week. Depending on when you actually play it, it actually releases on Tuesday or Wednesday. So because it's in the middle of the week, there's less likely of a chance that a lot of people would actually be playing it as much, because there are people who do have to work. But one thing I would definitely say is keep in mind is, if you're from the United States, you know that it is a holiday week. So some people might be taking off already for the whole entire week. Some people might just be getting prepared for that. So there is some upside and downside when it comes to this. Like I said, because they're releasing in the middle of the week, that does help them possibly when it comes to the release date in day one. But again, it is a holiday week for the United States that week as well. So there's more likely of a chance people being off. But it is summertime, so you kind of hope people go outside and touch grass, but you never know. Just wanted to let you guys know that that can also play a factor into day one release. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Sound in the comments. Let me know, did I get it wrong? Am I wrong in my opinion on that? That's just my personal thoughts and my experience with what I've noticed with some of the video games. So let me know what you guys think down below. I was accepted for the content creator program for the First Descendant. I can still speak my mind. I just can't say, vulgar things, and, there's a lot of other little small stuff, but I can still speak my mind. So I will definitely talk about concerns I see in the community, in Discord, or in Reddit and tweets. I will still be able to speak my mind, but I also will be talking about the news. I'll be talking about the game, and I'll be talking about a lot of things. So those who have subscribed to me, I want to say a massive thank you. We gained over 30 subscribers within the last couple of videos, so I truly do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining the crew. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are more interested in the First Descendant video, let me know by subscribing and liking this video. If you want to catch me live, I will be live when the game goes live. I will be live streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. So if you are interested, you can catch me live. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know that I am live. And I will be looking into doing some giveaways possibly as well with this game. So just keep that in mind. If you are interested, just keep that in mind. All right, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.